watching Glitter Gel Pen.
A lifelong, one-sided conversation of us consuming every pop culture podcast ever. Glitter Gel Pen has joined the chat.
Enjoy the show.
Hello, everybody.
Welcome back to Glitter Gel Pen.
Episode 36. I'm Jill.
And I'm Melissa.
And before we get started, if you want to have a friend that defends you the way Brooke Schofield defends her man, then hit the subscribe button.
Yeah, we unfortunately today are going to be talking about Brooke Schofield.
Yeah.
There's so many headlines, and we haven't done Hot Topics in 2 weeks, so we've
Yes.
got to catch up.
So, since we've been gone, Brooke Schofield has gotten engaged.
I can't believe that she posted it, that she's engaged.
Yeah. Especially because all the backlash that she got,
Yeah.
for dating this man. Also, just the fact that it was so fast.
It was fast. I'd seen a video of her doing Pilates where people were speculating if that was an engagement ring.
Guys, this is insane. Look right here on Brooke's finger. I promise you that is a marquee engagement ring. I know it is. Look at that. Look at this. Brooke, do you have something you've been meaning to tell us? Because what is this?
And I was like, oh, good for her. She's engaged, but she's not going to address it or mention it.
Mm-hmm.
And then this girl goes and posts, same bald head for the rest of my life or whatever. And, whatever, you're engaged, you're excited, I'm sure. But if I were Brooke and it were genuine and I wasn't just trying to stir up some feathers and everything, some things just need to be kept to yourself because, she was then complaining about how this is supposed to be the happiest moment of her life and everybody's being mean to her. And it's you knew that was going to happen.
Or even if she didn't make a full post just to that and she started wearing her ring in the canceled podcast and just yeah, me and my fiance or blah, blah, blah. If she would have just flippantly talked about it in stories or when they're in a conversation,
Yeah.
I think that would have even been a little better too.
Well, my thought is if I were from if she's trying to do it to get people talking about her and to get her content stirred, because they do that, they can act, oh, I don't want y'all to talk badly about me or whatever, but that is what they do. So it's okay, if you are gonna act like it bothers you or whatever, I would have just not ever addressed it and let people speculate about it, because if you say nothing, they can only say so much.
Yeah.
And it's you don't have to share everything.
Yeah, but she wants to. It's she wants to be in the spotlight, but she just hates the way that it's always perceived.
Yeah.
Nobody likes her, and
Yeah.
she just wants to post something and be in the spotlight. She wants to be center of attention, but she wants people to like it. And
Yeah.
we don't like it, though. So,
Yeah. It's just weird because it goes back to the whole drama with her, fiance, having dated a younger girl. It's the fact that Brooke tried to deny that anything ever
and
happened.
still does.
Still
Because
does.
I saw a comment or something on one of her posts when she was going on this TikTok rampage, and she was just yeah, made up Reddit posts, and it's not though.
It's not just out of nowhere. And it's it would be one thing if you were I think we've said it before, but I didn't know him then. I know that he's not into young girls, so that's all that matters to me. And maybe he did that at one point, but that was 9-10 years ago maybe.
Yeah.
So it's I understand why you wouldn't care in a sense if that wasn't some continuous pattern where he preyed on young women or whatever, and it was a different time whenever he did it.
Yeah.
But it's the constant denying. And I think in that episode where we talked about that, we showed her tweet where she was I will never publicly defend a man again. And here she is married.
Yeah.
Getting married.
Yeah. I just feel that maybe we should wait a little longer, Brooke, to get married. Maybe take a while to plan the wedding, okay? Because also, I think, doesn't she say she has borderline personality disorder? And I think that's one of the things is you can get kind of manic or and so it's she could just be
in an episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So who knows?
Well, one TikToker had something to say about her getting engaged. and it started an entire drama around microbangs.
The funny thing is, when I first saw this, I was on the glitter gel pen TikTok, and so I saw the girl responding to Brooke's comment.
Oh, but you
and then I clicked on the comment, and it was like, video is no longer available, and I forgot that we were blocked, so I was like, dang, Brooke deleted it after that. And then I got on mine and saw more, and I was like, oh, she didn't delete it. We're just blocked. I forgot.
Yeah. So I labeled which one was which on those videos. Okay. This is where it started with the girl discussing Brooke first.
Brooke Schofield getting married after only knowing this predator of a man for 4 months makes perfect sense. Like, it actually makes perfect sense when you're thinking about the fact that she has BPD. And the way that she talked about her ex in the past, she's like, no, I was so brainwashed. Like, I'll never do that again. Never be unmedicated, you guys. People do heal. It's just a perfect example of you can never get rid of the disease that is PPD. Because people are telling her, like, no, babe, you need to, like, get the freak out of there. He's love bombing you. He's a terrible person. He's a pet. You know, he's all of these things. And she's just ignoring it and being like, no, guys, it's totally fine. It just totally reminds me of all of the relationships I've ever been in where I defended that man with my entire life. And he literally, like, could have, like, killed my whole family or something. And I still would have defended him. Like, it's just so crazy how our brains work, how the chemicals in our brains work. But yeah, Brooke, girl, get a fucking grip. You're already racist. Like, just don't do this.
Not that you're already racist.
I know. So this video didn't sit right with Brooke, and then she comments. But before we go into the next one, what do you think of, like, the girl making that video? Do you think it's fair?
I think, and I'm going to be a little, like, biased with this because I've seen all of this, like, once, you know, before already. And I know that she ends up saying that, you know, this is how she makes money and stuff. So it's like you're going to talk about the hot topics and stuff. So it's kind of like she's just she was doing it to get reactions like she did.
Yeah. And she's commenting on, like, a public personality.
That Brooke posted for people to talk about because she knew they would.
Yeah.
Again, like how we just said, when people call him a PDF file, I don't know if that's fair.
Yeah.
Just because 10 years ago when he dated the girl, and wasn't she like 17 or something?
Yeah, she was in high school.
Okay, but which like is weird. That's weird to me.
It is weird, but my thing about him, and not defending him, but Isabella is the girl's name, and she's never wanted to be victimized, called herself a victim, or tried to make a statement or say that something happened. So, like, to call him, people just go around calling people pedophiles. And it's like, you shouldn't do that, especially because you're not the one in this scenario that has the right to, like, you're not the victim.
And I think by doing that with every person in a situation like this, where she was 17 and he was, like, in his 20s or something like that, still weird. But I think that doing that and calling people like that pedophiles kind of takes validation away from true ones who are disgusting, like Shane Dawson, for instance.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think that we're like devaluing the word by saying this about, because we say it about everybody these days, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's just my thoughts on that. But other than that part of it, I think that she was valid in everything she's saying.
Yeah,
I think that
agree.
Brooke is a little manic right now.
And she's just a TikToker, like, commentating on what is going on currently.
Yeah.
So the next video is going to be with Brooke's comment on Ashlyn's video that she made, and then Ashlyn's response to the video.
Okay.
To the comment.
So Brooke said, "You actually can't talk about me with bangs like that now that I think about it."
Which is funny enough, because micro bangs are a thing. Like, you can't deny that they're not a statement to make. I don't have an issue with them, but we do joke about feminist bangs sometimes because typically the person that would have these microscopic bangs would be on the internet saying something about someone doing something wrong.
Yeah.
And that, I do not have a problem with it, but feminist bangs are real.
Yeah, it's not a joke towards that we don't like the feminists and don't like that. It's just a joke that when you have these bangs, you probably are, you know?
Yeah.
So,
and when I was in my really, like, my most liberal phase of life, I was posted on Tumblr. I had bangs. It just, y'all, it all comes hand in hand, I swear. And there's even a post I made where I was thinking I may want them shorter. And honestly, thank God I didn't take the turn for that direction because it just wasn't for me.
Yeah.
But respect to the micro bangs, but it is a
statement.
It's a statement.
Yeah.
Yikes! Wow, girl, where is your manager? Holy shit. This is not a good look. Racist and a mean girl and dating a predator. You better stop while you're ahead.
Okay.
So she's using Brooke's comment on her page to amplify this situation on purpose. You know, like she wants to be an influencer, make money online and all that kind of thing. She said that her job doesn't pay her enough. She's trying to get money on TikTok. Well, do I think Brooke's comment shouldn't have been about her appearance? Yeah, I guess. But if I'm looking at it from Brooke's perspective, if someone's... Honestly, sometimes I think dissing someone's personality is worse than their appearance.
Yeah.
Because at least the appearance is like a low blow. Whereas commenting on someone's like thought pattern and like the way that they are as a human being, to me that is worse than commenting on someone's appearance.
Yeah.
So I can't say that I wouldn't have felt attacked the same way Brooke did.
No, if like coming from Brooke's perspective, if I was Brooke and I had people attacking me online, then I had this girl coming on saying all that she did in the first video we just watched, attacking like me and my future husband who I am in love with for whatever reason, I would probably feel the same way, to be honest.
Yeah, same. There was a video where the girl, Ashlyn, like, ended up posting and was being really nice to Brooke and was...
Yes.
Do you know what video I'm talking about?
Yeah, she posted, and that's the one where she basically said, you know, this is what she does for money, and this is... It was her explaining why she even started going in on Brooke in the first place, you know?
Yeah.
And I know Brooke commented on that one.
Sorry. Ow. But for real, for real. First, I just want to say my intention with posting this video is what is popular right now that I can catch people's attention with so I can make money for my bills next month. And I'm sorry that's not the answer you want to hear, but Mama, that's the truth. TikTok pays way better than my job, and I really need groceries. I'm saying this because it's not like I am going through her whole page and her whole life trying to find dirt on her, and I'm reading into her whole life and everything. I was a fan. I watched the podcast. I watched your series on that man. Like, I know about you because you put stuff out online. And when you put stuff out online, people are going to form opinions about you. And you just have to accept that. Coming from one BPD person to another who gets a lot of hate and a lot of digs on my personality, you just have to turn the phone off. It's so hard. It's so hard. I know it's so hard. Trust me, girl, I've spiraled just like you have before. But you just gotta put the phone down. Trust in me, please. I don't hate you, and I wasn't trying to come at you like what you said in the video. The video you posted about me for like 10 minutes, you said that I was preying on your downfall or something like that. Sorry, that I was excited for your crash and burn. My intention with that video was, oh, I have BPT, and I see the path that she's going down because I have done that in the past where I was so critical and aware of my mistakes that I made in previous relationships, but then I just completely threw all of that down the drain for a new man who was love bombing me. Was it not a nice way to say it? No, I'm not exactly nice to people who are predator defenders and have a terrible racist past and didn't apologize properly for it. Sorry, but I genuinely was not coming at you through a place of, I hate this girl so much and I'm gonna just ruin her special day. It was coming from a place of, I need money. This is pretty easy thing to talk about, something everyone will agree with, and I think she needs to hear it. I give tough love. I give tough stuff to all my friends, and that was kind of tough love. Sorry, but I think that you're just upset because I pointed out some solid fucking facts. I pointed out the fact that your boyfriend is a predator. You just completely didn't even mention anything about that, and then just went straight for my eyebrows and my baby bangs. It's very strange because I always thought you were pretty. Like, I genuinely don't think you're ugly, girl, and I used to like you. I used to watch canceled podcasts, like, all the time. Me and my best friend dressed up as you. Last year on my birthday, me and my best friend dressed up as Tana and Brooke for my canceled-themed birthday party. Look, I'm sorry for being mean, but I do fear that you had to hear what I had to say. If you talk about me on the podcast, make sure to mention my username. Thanks.
And they were like jokingly flirting with each other as like a way to like end this short-lived beef, if you want to call it that. And I think that they both handled it like decently, actually.
I think at the end of the day, I think they were going back and forth, and I think it was serious at first. But then I think that maybe they both took a step back and saw it from the other person's side, and they were both like, listen, we're like in the influencer like world. This is what we do, like whatever, you know?
And I didn't put it on here, but I should have. Speaking of just like the Brooke hate, right? On Jeff FM, did you watch his like most recent episodes?
No.
Well, they were talking about how they announced that Canceled was going to end, and Ryan, the weatherman, was like, well, good, because Brooke needs to go and Tana can just continue Canceled by herself. And I don't know why I never thought about that, but I could totally see Tana just continuing it by herself, change up something, but continuing it by herself, because that's the reason people are clicking and watching, because they'll watch Tana with Paige, Brooke, whoever.
Yeah, and Canceled originally, like the first time that they did it, or that Tana did it, it was just her.
Yeah.
Back when they had like the newspaper wall in the back and stuff for the set, and yeah, it was just her. It was short-lived, I think, that time. And then when she came back, she was with Brooke. But yeah, like it was just her, so I could see it going back to the original and just being her again.
But they were like not holding back at all. I mean, obviously, like Jeff, they're so sarcastic the whole time. Like sometimes I have a hard time watching it just because I'm like, I don't even know if they're serious about what they're saying, because they just joke constantly. But they were just saying how like they thought that, you know, it was time for it to end. Like they just really gave the vibe of not liking Brooke at all.
Well, we know that Jeff doesn't like Brooke, because didn't she try to defend
David,
yeah,
on the podcast, I think. And honestly, I thought it was a joke, like that Jeff was saying like she needs to go, she needs to get out of this game, or whatever it was that she said. But since then, Jeff has never publicly talked positively about her.
No. So I think he's serious.
Yeah. So I just kind of thought that was interesting. There was also another thing with Jeff FM that I didn't put on here, but Mike Malik, because Tana went on Impulsive, and that's where she first shared that Canceled could be ending. There was a moment where Mike Malik was trying to say that Jeff made him say he wasn't going to be friends with Corinna anymore, or like anyone from the Vlog Squad, and like kind of said that like they would be here for Jeff or whatever, but like they're not going to cut off everybody that was ever friends with David. And Jeff's response to that was basically like, well, that's why I'm moving out of LA. And I just thought it was kind of bold. I'm excited to see what he does in New York, because
Me too.
I feel like
He'll be better off mentally there, I think.
And these people are just so fake, it seems like. So I'm excited about that.
But this is the only post that Brooke still has up.
Yeah.
Bangs are beautiful.
Yes.
The saga continues with talking about Brooke.
Yeah,
for
just
this
one more
week.
little thing. So they did like an episode where they were discussing the fact that she thought she was going to get engaged soon. So they posted this after she's announced that she's engaged. And then they were talking about being on tour and how Brooke brought her best friend Bebe to be like her assistant, because
Did you know she's related to Haley Baldwin?
No.
Yeah, her last name's Baldwin.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and I think that's a lot of the speculation on why, like in that one episode, you know, with Tana, Paige, and Brooke, when they were kind of going at it, when they were talking about Haley Bieber, and then Brooke was like, God forbid, she's a mother, she's trying to da-da-da-da-da. It's probably because honestly, Brooke probably knows a little bit, like, more than the average person, just because, like, Bebe's, like, related.
Yeah.
In some kind of way.
I could see that. Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense as to why she's always said how much she loves her and, like, defends her and everything. Because I could also see Brooke, like, being the one to have an opinion on Hailey Bieber, and she, like, never has anything negative to say about her, but she does have negative things to say about people that probably don't always deserve it. So it's interesting. Well, on this episode of Canceled, they were talking about how whenever they were on their tour, Brooke brought her friend Bebe, and Bebe was fired by Brooke, which when I was watching it, I remembered, you probably saw it on Canceled, where they were like, knew that it was not going to go well with her being her assistant because they're best friends.
Yeah.
But she wanted her friend there, and someone had to get paid to do it, so it might as well be her friend. So, like, I understand it. Well, they go on this tangent with Amari, and they were talking about how muscle. They went white clean.
It looked like you just got a lobotomy.
Y'all, sometimes it's just so hard to just focus in on Brooke Schofield whenever I don't care at all. Okay, they were like going on this long tangent about how Brooke's one request whenever they were in somewhere was that Bebe book them a boat, and Bebe was like, well, I don't know what boat you want, I don't know, blah blah blah, but that is your job as an assistant, to figure it out and just do whatever they say. But I could also see, if they're really good friends, not wanting to be like her bitch, so to speak, and like being annoyed by maybe like the entitlement, but it's also like you're getting paid to do it, so there's like a weird line there. But they was going on this tangent about how Bebe did such a bad job and never got Brooke a boat. And it's like, God, what is this conversation?
Yeah. Sometimes they're a little bit out of touch.
Yeah,
for
real.
me. Like, some of us are struggling to pay rent, you know?
Well, it seemed like no big deal that they were like talking about this. I did think it was weird them like airing it all out on the podcast, because Bebe's not there to defend herself. So it's like they're really publicly shit talking a really private situation. Yeah. Maybe. But maybe that's why everybody watches Canceled. Well, I thought it was no big deal, but then Bebe responded on a random TikTok that just posted the clip, and Bebe commented and said the following: didn't get fired, by the way, with a loving face, as if she's said, I didn't want to do it again for the Australia tour because we got into the first fight we have ever been in 7 years of friendship.
And did you see the video? Like, Tana had posted it
No.
on TikTok when they were fighting.
No.
Yeah, and she was like, this is better than Jort's Gate or something, and posted them going back and forth.
Your phone and started making a TikTok.
Your food order.
Exactly.
Literally, what are you talking about? I asked you on the fucking boat, and you said I already did it, and you didn't do it already.
Before that, I said, Bebe, can you put in my food order?
When?
When we were sitting next to each other right before you spilled the drink on my shoes.
I don't care about that right now.
And not only did I stand up,
Why would you stand up when you know there's a drink next to you like
because
that?
why would there be a drink sitting on a cushion? It's not on a table or a surface.
Doing something for 2 seconds.
What was it?
I don't even remember.
Making a TikTok.
No, I wasn't.
All I did was I literally did this motion. I stood up.
I was not making a TikTok.
I stood up and it spilled all over my new $1,100 shoes.
Oh no!
And you pointed at it.
And then you were pretending like you were bleeding. It was your fucking lipstick.
I didn't know what it was.
I just love that it's not me. You bringing Bebe on tour and then being like upset that she's not perfectly assistanting is like bringing a mariachi band on tour and then being mad when they're like mariachiing instead of packing the suitcase.
Mad isn't the word. It's just disappointment.
Ooh, hated that echo.
Yeah. Everyone's just mad at me all the time. And what about our TikTok that was supposed to be lesbian prevention guard, Janae? I can do it twice.
For the record, I pulled that sound up myself.
All I need.
See, now can I lick it off my foot, or is that considered a relapse?
Why would it be sitting right there?
You put yours there too.
Mine's right there. He just said they don't fall off right there. Yours is sitting on the cushion.
Well, I didn't hear that.
Yeah, so you can kind of see the dynamic on the...
And the tension is just high.
Yeah.
But it's just, I can't imagine. I would be really picky about who I would go to other countries with. Because it's so stressful sometimes, I'm sure, like in the midst of everything. And then you add the work element to it as well.
Yeah.
And then working together while traveling together and knowing each other so well that you just drive each other crazy. Like, I could see that. We'll never have that problem.
Yeah.
But just kidding.
We'll get the worst flight, and then we'll end up in the worst hotel, and we'll make videos.
Yeah. But I don't know. I just thought the whole scenario was weird. Them talking about it, Brooke or Bebe not being there to defend herself, and they've been friends for so long, and Brooke's just on the podcast, like airing it out, and it's just, I don't know. I just thought it was kind of strange.
Yeah, should have been like one of those moments where how they have Paige on sometimes and Paige gets to interject and whatever. Bebe should have been able to be there, I feel.
Yeah.
Because it still could have been funny. It doesn't have to be like a serious conversation. It could be like them saying what they were saying and her being like, no, but da-da-da-da-da. You know, it could have been fun still.
Yeah. Yeah, a little weird to do it without having her take on it as well. But that's the summary, I think, of Brooke. It's just not going well for her.
No.
And, okay, you're Brooke's publicist. Give her advice.
Shut up.
Yeah. Yeah, like, maybe get off the internet. Maybe do your brand deals and talk about your outfits and stop talking about
your personal life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the best thing to do here.
Oh, we're talking about T-Swizzle showing up in Nashville.
Yes, and we will be showing up in Nashville next weekend.
Yes, so Taylor, if you're seeing this, come on and surprise us, please. I would die.
I know, that would be so much fun.
Honestly, Taylor Swift is someone that like I would totally, if anybody ever wants to give me the opportunity to meet her, I will. For sure. But it's almost like, I don't know. I don't think I'd be good at it.
No, I wouldn't handle it well.
No.
And there's just no scenario where I meet her and I say what I would want to say.
No, I would be just like in awe and in shock.
She's like an alien. There's no famous person like her because she's just so big. And also, like, to have been a fan of someone for so long, like, at the same time. Like, we're not Swifties that just joined in 2020. Like, we've been here since, like, we were slamming screen doors.
Yes.
Well, the girl is on the move. She's out. She's about. There are conspiracies that I think we should get into. And Taylor Swift did she's been in Nashville, like we said, but she has done a surprise performance, a country version of Shake It Off in Nashville with your friend, Kane Brown.
Yes.
Do you want to give any lore?
Sure. So, for those who didn't know, which is like everybody, I have some lore with Kane Brown. And basically, I did X Factor back in 2012, and he did X Factor that same year. And we were at the same audition in Charleston, like for the judges or whatever. And so we met there, and then we kept in contact on Instagram, and then we both got cut. And he went on to make his Facebook videos and got traction and all the things. And he went on tour, and I hung out with him a few times on the tour bus and stuff like that. And yeah.
Speculate with that if you want to. We don't care.
But yeah. So I saw this and I was like, Alyssa?
I know. I know. Jill texted me. I won't say what she said. But it was just such a moment because I hadn't seen that it happened yet. And I mean, the last time we had a surprise Taylor Swift performance was at the 1975 concert.
Yeah.
Whenever she played Antihero. And that was just, I mean, in hindsight, that performance is psychotic because I was watching Swiftologists and they were talking about it and they were like, in what world does Taylor Swift play her brand new single that she's never performed live at this random band's like concert and be like, I'm just here.
Yeah.
It's like, girl, we know what you were doing.
Yeah. But yeah, I texted you and you were like, Jill, what's happening? Oh.
I was so confused, but here's the video of her coming out on stage. It also kills me because I feel like in this video, not that the crowd didn't care about Kane Brown, but he kept emphasizing, he was like, come on, y'all, like, get crazy. It's about to be good. Like, somebody's about to come out. And I just feel like it took the crowd a minute to, like,
process.
On. Yeah.
Yeah.
Really, really special guest.
Yeah, I don't know if like the audio, like you just can't hear the crowd that well, but it just seems like they were not giving enough.
No. And this is probably such a specific group of people that like there's not some diehard Crazy Psycho fans in there.
Yeah.
Whereas the average Kane Brown concert would have probably went psycho for that because it is a lot of women.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I don't know. I also am like, I thought this first before I saw the stuff that we're about to talk about, but I think it's interesting that she's doing Shake It Off in Nashville as a country version, knowing that Debut is ready to come out. I could kind of see her doing not a country album, but not a country album, like country pop, maybe a little bit of something. Like, I was thinking, like, oh, she's doing like a country version of Shake It Off. That's kind of interesting.
Like, what if she might be inspired by the new wave of like country pop girls such as Jessie Murph? As much as we don't like it, it is popular right now. What if she's inspired by that? And maybe she's like,
even Sabrina, who works with like Jack Antonoff and the same producers as Taylor Swift, like, she's not doing country, but she's not like avoiding some of the classic things that are in country music. And I mean, to me, honestly, I don't know that I would be into country music without Taylor Swift existing. So like, to me, she's kind of the queen of country music and like the reason I started listening to it in the first place. So if she went back to it, I think it could be really cool. I also feel like she's with a guy, and this is so parasocial, but she's like with this boyfriend who's like an American guy for the first time in a long time, that she's dated someone who's just like the heart of America. And like, he's a football player, and she's this like queen pop girl, but also has country roots, and she's based out of Nashville. Like, I feel like she's like coming back home in some way, because when she was with Joe, I mean, she lived in the UK for what, 5 years?
Yeah.
So like, I feel like she's like on her way back to herself and like happy and has all this success and everything.
And I feel like with the success comes reflection, and she might be reflecting on what got her here and like her whole journey, and maybe wanting to revisit the country roots that she started with, you know?
Yeah, and there's something about getting older and you stop like hating like the stuff that you were so embarrassed by that you did whenever you were younger. Like, it kind of like it like your brain like circles back around and appreciates the fact that you didn't care what people thought, and you like were willing to do something. So like, I feel like we took this in a direction that I honestly wasn't even thinking about before, but I'm like, she's coming back to herself.
Yeah, we took this really deep. It's like she gets on stage with Kane Brown surprisingly one time, and we're like, oh, she knows herself now.
Yeah,
like, she's a changed person.
Yeah, but there is some speculation because the Swiftologist posted this video, and I'm not saying the Swiftologist is the most reliable Taylor Swift source, but I'm definitely not saying he isn't, because he has some intel, and he shared it on the show that we were at, where he was like, her movie is done. Like, she has made a film, and it is completed or whatever, or at least the screenplay is done, and they're ready to like make the thing. And he had a source for that, and he'll never reveal it or whatever, but he did post this TikTok saying that he may know something, and it has the song September that Taylor Swift covered, and this is that video.
Me? Know something?
Okay, so what do we think is happening in September?
I think she's going to announce something completely new, because I still stand by my theory that she's going to wait until next year to announce and release Debut, just because it will have been 20 years since it came out, and it's like a lot of artists do a remastered edition of an old album anyway. So I think that we're 1 year away from that 20-year mark. Why would she release it on the 19th year?
I don't see her releasing Debut for sure.
And it would be the dream if she did something even slightly country, and when she goes on tour for something new that she releases in the fall this year, she does Debut and the newest. Because it's been 20 years of her in the business. She would be doing the stuff that got her started, and then she would be doing a new take on what she started doing. That's like my theory right now.
Yeah, I could see that, or I could see that she's gonna announce like the movie, not that it's done, but say something about that it's starting filming, or or something along with that. You know,
what kind of a movie do you expect?
I think it's going to be about Rebecca rode up on the.
Oh, okay.
Because she lives in the house.
I see. Yeah.
I think Taylor is obsessed with her, like the woman who used to live in her house. And so I think maybe it inspired her to like learn about her more, read about her more, then write something about her.
That's an American Dynasty, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, no, that would actually be like an interesting take. I didn't even think about her releasing something as in being like the movie. Honestly, I don't think she would put it out if it didn't get good reviews and like all that. I just hope that it's good.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm a fan of Taylor Swift, but whenever it comes to her like making a movie or something, like if it's not good, I'm not going to care.
Yeah.
Like that's like the one thing she could do to where I'm just like, whatever.
Yeah. Which I think if it's like all scripted and stuff, then it could be good.
Yeah.
If it's something where she's just like improv, like how she does in that part of the All Too Well music video, skip every time.
Yeah, I agree. Also on like the Swiftologist video where he was talking about it, they were saying like one thing that Taylor Swift does whenever she's about to make a move is she goes out to dinner with Selena Gomez. And she has done that recently. So, you know, there is that element to it too.
Speaking of Taylor, Matty, Healy.
Yeah.
People thought he was taking a jab at her.
Yeah, at the Glastonbury set, he like made a comment about being a poet or something like that.
But I want to be sincere for a second with everybody. What this moment is making me realize is that, what this moment's making me realize is that I probably am the best. So I'm probably the best songwriter of my generation. The best, what do we say, a poet, ladies and gentlemen, is what I am. Generational wordsmith. And I just wanted to remind you, you know, in the next couple of minutes, these lyrics, this poetry, I bleed for you. All right? Just take that into, all right? Take it away, boy.
So I see that, like, when we just watched this clip, we could think that, but then I also saw people saying that the song he sang after this, I'm not familiar with his entire discography, so I don't know what song it was, but it's one that is a silly, goofy song, like that kind of doesn't make sense, and it's kind of a joke. So people were saying he was being sarcastic, like making a joke by being like, this next song, just know it's poetry, and he sang a silly, goofy song that he obviously knew was not that.
Yeah.
You know?
I feel like people were reaching a little bit, trying to make it like about Taylor Swift.
Mm-hmm.
I could also see him doing something like that, but I don't think this is necessarily that happening. I'm still like, I haven't heard anything about his new music that's supposed to come out, but you know, we were talking about that a couple months ago, where like he was doing an interview where he was talking about how like he's not going to talk about his past relationships in the music or whatever. So I feel like this could be completely nothing.
Mm-hmm. I think it is nothing. I think it's a nothing burger, and people are trying to run with something just because it's Matty Healy.
Yeah.
You know? But moving on from Taylor Swift to the other pop girlies, Sabrina clapped back about the backlash for her album.
She shared like an alternate cover, and she wrote alternate cover approved by God.
I love that. I love that she just doesn't care. She's
and
like,
she
whatever.
Addresses it like kind of head on at the same time while like making a joke, because it's like it's like, in what world does she win by like doing anything? It's like she's too feminist. She's making a mockery of all the progress we've made in female history, and it's like, grow up.
Yeah, it's an album cover. So, love that. And then Addison Rae's opening up for Lana Del Rey, or she did.
Yeah, I think her first night was last night or the night before, like it was very recent. She opened up in London for Lana Del Rey, which is crazy and kind of perfect, I feel like, as far as like concerts go. And I put some like videos of her like performances and stuff that we can react to, but
I saw one. I've only seen one because I was saving it to react to like most of them for here, but I saw one and she was giving.
Yeah, It was actually really good. Lana even ended up coming out with her, but she opened up with Money Is Everything. And I love that, like, the album is so new and she's such a new artist and she's so niche in a way. But, like, all the videos I saw, like, the crowd knows the lyrics. Like, it's good. So she opens up with Money Is Everything, where she's, like, doing her, Mama always told me to save my money.
Save my money, so I never had to rely on a man to take care of me. But money's not coming with me to heaven, and I have a lot of it. Money is everything. So can a girl just have fun? Can a girl have fun? Looking for the sunshine, watching through the sea, saying, baby, come on. Money's everything.
I love it. I love it.
I do too. I was really curious because, like, her performances just do not land whenever she's been at Coachella and stuff like that. And I don't think she is the best singer. I don't think that you have to be a good performer. I think that she'll get better. This is a huge thing to do so early on in your career.
And I just think that, you know, she's on the stage. She's acting like everyone's there to see her. Like, in her mind, while she's on that stage, she's like, this isn't Lana's crowd. This is mine.
Yeah.
And I feel like when an artist has that confidence on the stage about them, it becomes like, yeah, we are here for you, actually.
Yeah.
You know?
And to be honest, like, we've seen Lana Del Rey in concert. I love her. But would I spend a lot of money to go see her again?
No.
I wouldn't. But if Addison Rae is there, I would be front row.
Yeah.
I would be like, oh my God. Like, whenever I saw she was opening, I got so upset because, first of all, it's not in America. But I was like, oh, that is, like, the perfect duo. And, like, Addison is so smart for even putting Lana, like, into her music, like, using her name and references, like, admitting that, like, she's pulling inspiration from her while, like, also, like, giving an ode to her at the same time. And then it opened up an opportunity for her to open for her. It's just, like,
it's
insane.
like she is manifesting what she wants. I'm so here for it. Like, I'm becoming a really big Addison fan.
Me too. And, you know, there was always something about her. I never knew, because we're older than her, like, I never knew why I wanted to watch her freaking dance on TikTok. And I'm like, maybe there was just this hidden little artist in there that we, like,
we could see. We should have been talent agents.
Yeah, like, we knew there was something to her, and it made her so interesting to watch and everything, but she gave us zero reason to believe that, and for whatever reason, I was still, this is embarrassing, but before she ever released music, and she was just doing these, like, weird, like, pap walks in LA.
Yes.
I used to look up Addison Rae, like, paparazzi videos on YouTube from, like, Hollywood TV and stuff. And it was, like, during the Hype House days where she was, like, talking about all that. But mainly just because she was wearing the most outlandish things and I wanted to see what she was wearing.
Yeah.
Because it's not, like, a functional outfit.
She'd be, like, wearing tutus with a crop top or something.
And flip-flops. Yeah. And she, like, does that so consistently that I'm like, she's, like, trying to get this message out.
Okay, I mean, honestly, though, she just did, like, a full hit class in heels. Yeah. So
we love it.
So go off.
I just love how the crowd is, like, freaking out when she starts doing some mountain climbers.
Yeah.
The choreo for Aquamarine is really good.
I truly think that in the next couple years she'll be like, you know, on the radio. People will like actually know who she is as a music artist.
Yeah.
And she just gives too much star quality to not.
I know. And she's so like big and being put in front of the right people at the right time, I feel like. I also think it's smart because she's not the best singer, and it's probably so nerve-wracking for her. That little dance break without her having to sing is like probably really smart to like put into her sets because she's danced her whole life and everything.
Yeah.
Whenever people ask you, because like I listen to Charlie, like Lana, Addison, like I listen to all of that so consistently. CC, Natalie, like we're about it. If people were to ask you what kind of music do you listen to, what do you say? Like, how do you describe it?
I say, I'm just like, I like the pop girlies. I like hyper pop.
I think like girl music. I can explain it in no other way. Like hyper pop I've not thought about that, but that's a good way to put it. But it is just the most like girl music I've ever heard.
Yeah.
In the best way.
I love it.
And then the last one is a video of Lana coming out to perform Diet Pepsi with her.
Okay.
And it's just iconic.
That is so cool. It's like a full circle moment to be inspired by someone, have a song that would fit that person you're inspired by, and having them come on it with you. So cool.
And, you know, like Lana is the headliner. And Addison comes out before her. So I feel like it kind of breaks that wall a little bit for Lana to come out during Addison's set. But by Lana doing that, it's putting Addison in front of even more people. You know what I'm saying? Like, even just the videos of them like performing together and stuff like that. So I thought it was good.
I love, like we've talked about it, I think last Hot Topics episode that we had, but I just love Addison's like music sound that she has. And to me, if I had to explain Addison's sound, I would say that it's if Lana and Charlie XCX had a baby.
Yeah.
Like that's how I see.
And who wouldn't want that?
Yeah. Literally.
We love
it. Sounds like it sounds like two things that would not go together necessarily, but like when you listen to Addison and you're like, oh, it does.
Yeah.
It does.
100%.
And on a not as positive note, our last thing that we're going to talk about is that the Diddy verdict came out yesterday.
Yeah. I honestly was very sad yesterday about it. It bothers me.
Yeah, I know we didn't cover it while it was going on this whole time, but I just wanted to acknowledge, because it is something big that happened yesterday, that it did come out, and he was found not guilty for racketeering conspiracy. Count 2 was sex trafficking by force, fraud, and coercion for Cassie. You know, not guilty. I didn't understand.
I don't understand it either. But I also, I don't know the legality around, there was a settlement before this could happen. Like, Cassie has a settlement with Diddy, so I don't know what the legality is in them, double charging him for, not double charging him, but if they settled out of court for whatever happened to Cassie. I don't really know the details of that first settlement.
It was just wild to me. I guess that if they did settle, there might be something to that. But it's there's a video of him, hotel footage of him pulling her down the hallway. How are we not guilty?
I know.
Third was transportation to engage in prostitution, which he was found guilty of, but that's not one of the big ones, that he was on trial for. Sex trafficking by force, fraud, or coercion for Jane, which I think we're calling her Jane because Jane Doe.
Yeah, but it also is there were witnesses, sex workers that went on the stand and were saying that it was gave all these gory details of how it was happening and saying that it was something that they didn't want to do. So I don't understand the not guilty of sex trafficking by force at all. I just don't understand that.
Yeah. And then he was guilty for transportation to engage in prostitution for that Jane Doe as well. But again, the two that he was found guilty of were not the big things. And so he could be facing up to 20 years in prison, but he probably will only face 5 or 10.
And he's already been in jail for over a year or so. It's been around a year, I think. But I heard once, and I don't know what's true and what isn't, but I heard that the amount of time you spend in jail before a trial counts for double the time if you get found guilty in anything and have to serve any time. So he's probably not going to serve much at all.
Yeah.
Which is scary for anybody that came to speak out against him, in my opinion.
Yes. Everybody is worried about, there's a YouTuber named Stephanie Sue, I think, and she covers true crime a lot of the time, and she had people that work for her. They were in the courtroom through this whole thing. There was a point where she would do like recaps every day or two of like what happened in the Diddy trial, and there was a point where she mentioned that Diddy turned around and like they locked eyes, and that it was like they looked at each other and it was really awkward, and then he mouthed like, "I know you," or something to her,
so scary.
and she was like creeped out by it. And then she actually ended up, I think, for whatever reason, she didn't post for like longer than she had been, it wasn't on schedule, so everybody was like, oh my god, what happened to Stephanie, and she came back, she was fine, but now everybody's like, Stephanie, please be careful, like, because he's not going to serve a lot of time, and he has people and stuff like that.
Yeah, and not that we would be like on Diddy's radar by talking about him or whatever. Obviously everybody's talking about him, but there are parts of it, that's why I didn't want to talk about the coverage like as it was happening, because one, I don't know enough details to like talk about it accurately, and like also to talk about it legally in a way that's like not saying allegedly the right way or whatever whenever you're talking about someone, because if we were to say something and one of our clips get a lot of views, I don't even know that I want any clips of us like talking about this level of thing like to be what goes out to people, because it's so scary and just sad. It makes me so upset to think that he just got away with being the most disgusting person that I've ever heard of.
And at least, obviously, I wanted him to serve a lot of time and have to pay for what he did, allegedly. But at least the one thing we can know is that like his name will never be good anymore. You know?
I just, my prediction with him is that he's going to fall off the face of the earth with all of his money. Because he's just like, so many people hate him. I don't think that he's going to stop doing what he did. It's who he is. He's been doing it for so long. And I was having a conversation with someone about it yesterday. Going through the legal system for doing something really disgusting, it only teaches you how to get better at doing it and not getting caught again. So hopefully, like, people can be aware of what's going on and not get involved with him. But he has so much pull, and just like being a scary individual and like what can happen to people. Like, unfortunately, there could be victims in the future because he got away with it, which is sad and scary to think about.
Because I know there were a lot of people who didn't come forward for this trial. Could they decide to come forward and him essentially have to go through a trial again, but in a different way?
I heard that as soon as he gets done with this, he's already has someone who's accused him of like R-wording them. So he's immediately going into another trial after this.
Okay, well, maybe, people can do what they want because it's their life and their story, and if they want to come forward, that's their decision. But maybe him not being found guilty on the 3 most important charges will make people who are victims of him that didn't come forward, it might make them decide to.
Yeah, hopefully.
So, yeah.
That's all the hot topics.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's going on with you lately?
I've been working. What? I don't even remember. What happened last week? What did we do last weekend?
We did our paparazzi video.
Oh, yeah.
It's the 4th of July today.
Yeah, it's 4th of July. We got plans. We're doing things. And, I mean, that's really it. Same boring stuff for me.
Had an experience on Monday. I got my teeth cleaned like 2 weeks ago. And my mom is my dental hygienist, so it's always fun. But I've had this potential cavity that everyone, that I went, at my mom's office was like, yeah, we'll keep an eye on it, but it doesn't seem like anything to be concerned about. Well, it finally got to the point where they're like, okay, we can fill it. It's big enough now. When they went to fill the cavity, they clean out all the dirty stuff out of it first, right? And then they fill it up with the composite. it was a little tiny hole in the center of one of my back teeth, and when they cleaned it out, they realized the entire inside of my tooth had decayed. So my tooth looked fine from the outside, but it was literally like a really hollow shell. And so now one of my entire like back teeth, they had to fill it almost completely, and it's basically all fake. Like my nerves were out because I told him, I was like, I'm kind of nervous about you like grinding the stuff to like clean it all out and hitting a nerve. And he was like, oh, it's so small, you won't have to worry about that. And then he just kept digging, and it was just bigger and bigger and bigger. So I have 2 other spots that they were keeping an eye on, and I'm like, I think like y'all might need to fill them. It's just really scary. It freaked me out. I've had now nightmares about my teeth breaking because like it could have just broken off completely at any point for any reason. And like now my tooth is so sensitive back there. Like anytime I eat something really sweet, cold, hot, like it bothers me, which they said is normal for the first little while. But I like invested in one of those like water pick things, and I've been so anal and OCD about my teeth for the last 7 days because I am so freaked out by my teeth falling out.
That is crazy. I didn't even know that. Like, I didn't know that was a thing.
They showed me a picture of it. I mean, it was wild looking. My whole tooth was just like a shell.
That would be like so kind of satisfying to like look at, I feel. Like, like to look at the picture of, because it gives the same vibe of like when you pop a really weird pimple or something.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, no, honestly, I'm really, really glad they gave me the visual and showed me the picture. I wish I would have taken a picture of it, but yeah, we'll see how that goes. I was going to get my teeth like worked on and do some stuff to them, but I just wasn't in the right mindset to be like, let's get some cosmetic dentistry.
Yeah.
I was so freaked out, and he was like, I don't think you should worry about it if you don't like want to do it. And I was like, yeah, I don't want to do it right now. I'm like not in the mood.
Yeah. You're like not in the mood after finding out that your whole tooth was rotted.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I feel so dirty. I just feel
Yeah. I mean, people get cavities though, you know?
Yeah.
And they thought it was small too, and they were inside your mouth.
Yeah.
So
it's crazy to think about.
Yeah. But that's all for this week.
Yeah, I think so. If you guys it would really, really, really help us out to go out to the masses. Rate us 5 stars on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. We upload a new episode every Monday.
And remember that if you want your friend to defend you the way that Brooke Schofield defends her man, then click the subscribe button.
Ding. Yep, and we will see you guys next Monday with the next time y'all see us, we will have just gotten back from Nashville.
Yes.
And we'll have a very different episode going up next Monday. So stay tuned for that. And if you didn't watch our episode last week on ranking paparazzi, like iconic moments, it's a really good episode. Go watch that, and that's it.
Yeah. TTYL.
Bye.